Happy Sunday, March 12th, 2023. Beware the Ides of March. March 15th, the Ides of March, usually attributed to the day Julius Caesar was assassinated. Beware the Ides of March. Shakespeare probably made that famous. I think it was in the play Julius Caesar. But the Ides used to be the time when payment is due. It's one of those time periods where you make good on your debts. And right now, I usually don't do a weekend video. I spend time with the family, got other things to do. But today I thought, I want to talk about something. The bank that went under, Silicon. It's like Congress. Silicon Valley Bank has basically gone under. They've shut the doors. Tomorrow, there'll probably be something today announced as far as what they're going to do with it, but it's the 18th largest bank according to my reading. Someone else said it was the 16th largest bank. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of money there that is locked up. So if you've got your funds in that bank, are you going to get your money back? And you put in, $250,000, it's FDIC insured. But if you look at the actual numbers of FDIC insurance, only like only less than 3% of the deposits in that bank would be covered, because there's a lot of people that got over $250,000 in that bank. So 90% of them would be, essentially, they'd lose that money beyond $250 if the government doesn't step in. And we know how the government works. They pick winners and losers. Question is, are they going to allow this to fail this time, like they said they'd be doing? Janet Yellen said, well, there's not going to be a bailout. There might be a bailout, but they call it something different. But there are issues. Employees were told not to show up for work. I know kind of secondhand from someone who said that they know someone who works there and received a bonus check, because that's the thing. Hey, there were bonus checks given out a couple days before this whole thing shut its doors. Well, those checks don't seem to be clearing, and this is anecdotal information that I've heard from someone in the community. They know someone else who works there, and their checks are gone. They're not getting cleared. So, interesting thing. Although it is the weekend, and you know how banks operate on the weekend. So you've got a bank which is probably the darling of Silicon Valley, the bank that actually funds many startups in the tech space. So if you want to go start a tech company, hey, you need some capital, I'm going to get this started, go to Silicon Valley Bank. A lot of people did that. A lot of companies did that. And I think BlockFi has money in there too, and they've already gone under. I'm getting a price alert. What is it? ETH is up. I don't know. I can't tell. But you've got startups that were funded by this bank. And from what I've read, if you're a startup and you go get money from this bank, they give you capitalization, you start a company, a tech company, and then part of the hook in doing that is, hey, any funds you have, you need to deposit it in our bank. So we'll give you the loan for what you need to get started, but if you're making money and doing payroll, whatever transactions, we kind of want you to put it in our bank. So all those companies are basically effed right now. All those employees, they're SOL. They're not going to make payroll this week unless something happens, because all those funds are locked up. And in fact, over the weekend, Friday night, Saturday, we had a situation where Coinbase says, hey, USDC coin, the so-called stable coin that's pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar, we got a little problem. There's, I think, 6 banks where the USDC is held in custody. USDC, the United States digital currency, not US dollar, USDC, I'm thinking CBDC. USDC, cryptocurrency, quasi-cryptocurrency on the Ethereum blockchain that is pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar. It's supposed to stay the same. 1 USDC equals $1. Problem is, it depegged over the weekend. It got down to like 88 cents, I think. So a lot of these crypto traders, what they've been doing is, hey, I'm going to take profits in Bitcoin or take profits in Litecoin, which are few and far between. But there's a reason for that, I think. Anyway, you take profits and then you put it in the USDC or another stable coin, and then it pegs that value rather than cashing out in US dollars. You're kind of still in that ecosystem, not messing with the banking system, because you used to have to cash out in dollars. So you'd be like in Coinbase, okay, cash out in cash out in dollars, and then you transfer it back to your bank. Well, then you'd have to transfer it back into the Coinbase account when you want to start trading again. So, you know, you didn't have that option where you could just say, boom, I'm going to transfer into US dollars or, you know, USDC. And that way USDC, it's a simple swap. You just go boom, and it's not a big deal. My dad's calling me now. He saw me go by the house, so he's like, hey, I want to talk about the crash. You know, should I buy silver? Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know if that broke up there on that video. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to talk about what's going on because it is kind of serious. I saw it on the mainstream news this morning talking about this SVB, this Silicon Valley Bank, and what the ramifications are. They were a holder of USDC coins. And so you saw kind of a little bit of a panic on Friday night, Saturday, to where, first of all, the exchanges locked it up and wouldn't let you trade them. So if you're sitting on USDC thinking you're taking profits, oh, I sold Bitcoin at 24,000 or whatever it hit, I made money, and it's sitting in USDC, well, you kind of are getting scalped right now. We don't know what's going to happen to it. Remember, Luna, their stable coin, what was it? I don't know, was it Luna USD, whatever, TUSD, USDT, I don't know what it was. But anyway, it went to zero. Well, fractions of a penny now. It can happen because the USDC is not backed up one for one with dollars. It's tied to treasuries. It's tied to all these other, you know, financial instruments. So it can depeg and devalue, and that's what we saw. And so they freeze the markets. And if you're sitting in those coins, you get a little worried because you're like, wait a minute, this was supposed to be worth $1. Well, and now it's worth 88 cents or worth 94 cents. And I mean, so I'm getting a 6% haircut, a 12% haircut. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? It gets a little worrisome because part of those were held in that SVB bank. And that bank now is enclosed. Basically, there's walls around it of protection. The government has come in, the FDIC, whatever agency has come in and locked it up and said, all right, basically walled it off. And they're going to try and figure out what to do now. And, you know, there are rumors going around where, you know, there might be an announcement tonight to where, hey, if you've got deposits in there, you're going to be able to get 50% of them out on Monday. And then the rest, you know, we're going to stagger them out. We just got to contain it. See, the whole point in this, what I did today, and I do this all the time, but I just happened to get paid on the weekend, my ACH transfer, and it showed up yesterday. And I couldn't go get it yesterday. I mean, usually what I'll do is I pay the bills as fast as I can and get that money out of there as fast as I can. I don't leave money in the bank. So today what I did is I went to the ATM and took out what I could. I'm not going to leave it in there. And I always do this, so I'm not panicking or anything. I do this all the time. It's just it happens to be on a weekend where banks are kind of looking shaky. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to wait till Monday, which is what I would probably do anyway, even though my instincts always tell me if it's in there, get it out. That's just how I am. I don't like leaving it in there because this can happen. Banks can shut the doors, and depositors, people who put money in, don't get their money back. And you might ask yourself, well, why can't they get their money back? Aren't the dollars in there that I put in? Well, no, they were tied up in treasuries, and that's part of the problem. They bought these treasury notes at low interest. Well, then the Fed starts raising interest rates. So it's like, wait a minute, I'm sitting here in these fixed income assets or instruments, and, you know, I'm only getting 1%. Well, shoot, if I bought it now, I'd get 4%. And so you're behind the curve and you're not keeping up. This is the problem. In this debt-based system, you have to constantly try to keep up. You're forced to take risk. You are forced to do things you don't want to do. If you had a sound money system, it'd be easy. You just save it. You know, it used to be put your money in the bank, save it, get interest, you know, and you'd benefit from it. And you don't even get that anymore. But in a sound economic system, if you save money, if you save your money, it becomes worth more as you go forward. It's counterintuitive to everything you believed that, hey, prices have to go up. You know, new things come onto the market. We need more money to buy it. No, if there's a fixed monetary supply, when new things come into the market, that money that you have becomes worth more. because all these other products, the more that comes into the market is vying for that, finite asset, that finite piece of pie, that piece of that pie that's there. They want a slice of it, and there's only so much of it. And so the prices get driven down through competition because, hey, I want a piece of that pie. If you're making a product, if you're a business, I need a piece of that pie. Well, it becomes very competitive because there's only so much pie to go around. So that ends up driving prices down because you've got more things to buy and you've only got a fixed amount of the supply. So you don't need as much because this becomes more valuable, this money. We live in the opposite now where there's just an unlimited flow of money. And now that you see the Fed starts needling it down just a little bit, you see what happens. Institutions start to crash. And this is exactly what happens. It starts to purge the system of the excess. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? I mean, you can look at it however you want. If we were on a sound form of money, we wouldn't have to do this. The market would take care of it. But instead, we have government intervention. And so they come in and they pick winners and losers. So is SVP, you down with SVP? Yeah, you know me. No, SVB. Silicon Valley Bank, are they going to get saved? Are they going to be one of the winners that government allows to continue? And what's going to happen? This is going to be a real test of what our path going forward is, because in 2008, they bailed them all out and then continue to flood the system with money and have been doing that to this point. Now we're at another crisis point, an inflection point where are we going to do the same thing we've always done and just kick the can down the road, or is this time different? This is the real question that we're about to see unfold right now. And given all of the information that is coming out, given all the fraud that's been coming out, the lying that's been coming out, but with all these people who have been in charge and on the TV, I mean, we could be at a tipping point. Something big could be happening. I don't want to be an alarmist, but, I have not seen things start to happen and coalesce and point, to a moment like this in quite a long time. How long have I been around? 50 years. But I remember 2008, 2006, 7 leading up to it, and then 8. And I saw the housing bubble going to crash. I'm like, this is unsustainable. I was saying it in 2005. You people are idiots. Sell your stuff. My company says, move to Florida. It's a great time to buy in Florida. Oh, there's only so much land. It's like real estate's the best in the world. And 2005, peak. I mean, ridiculous. And I said, you guys are nuts. I think I said, you're effing nuts. And I said, you need to sell your property. I said, well, where would we go? I said, I don't know, but you need to sell it and you can buy it back at a third of the price. And, that's exactly, it was even better than that. Sometimes a lot less than that you could have bought it back for. But you could have taken your money out of the market because it was completely a bubble, completely unsustainable. And then they call Bitcoin a bubble? I mean, give me a break. When you've got a finite asset, worth less than what? I don't even know what it is. What's the total market cap? $1 trillion? Give me a break. It's going to take a lot more than $1 trillion to bail out the current mess that's unfolding in front of us right now. And you can be a part of the new system. One Litecoin for $70. I want to get into that. I've been watching the price on Litecoin too. Different exchanges are having different prices. Something's not right in this market. I'm watching it, and you look at the spot prices, and then I'm looking at prices where I pay on Coinbase because I'm like, okay, how much, if I want to buy some off Coinbase, it was like $1, $1.50 more on Coinbase than kind of the going rate that you'd see, at some of these other places. So I'm thinking, why is it more money, and why is there a little bit of a premium on it? Is it, I don't want to be a fear monger or anything, but do they have the coins? It remains to be seen, because I purchased it and I did it with my bank account over the weekend. I bought a few because I'm like, if it's under $70, I can't help myself. I'm forced to do it. And so I scraped together a little money in the bank. I'm like, okay, move this around. Okay. Anyway, I did it. I purchased it. However, the money has not, since we're on a weekend, it says you got the coin sitting here, but the money has not come out of my account yet because I don't know how they process this stuff. I mean, it's so archaic. It's not real time. It's supposedly digital, but it doesn't work like a digital system. So it remains to be seen if I can withdraw those coins, because right now none of them are available. So I'm curious to see how long it takes to clear those funds and all that to where I can actually withdraw them to my own wallet. So I really don't want to buy anymore because I don't know what's going to happen. They may freeze all that stuff. I don't know what kind of situation we're in. I mean, it could be just a blip on the radar, and they'll just print the money and bail it out and cover it up. We got a new buyer. It's going to absorb all that, and the Fed will fund it behind the scenes. Maybe that happens. Or maybe it's systemic and it starts spreading, and it is a contagion. And then pretty soon you've got crypto exchanges not allowing you to get your coins out. Or maybe a really long delay. Who knows what's going to happen? See, we're in that period right now where things are getting a little sketchy. So I'm not willing to take the chance. I want it in my possession. That's why anything that was available in the bank today, I go to the ATM and I take it out. Tomorrow, I will take out more, and then I'm probably got nothing left in there. So I am just not going to play that game. I don't want to play in the vampire casino. Unfortunately, once in a while, we got to walk into it and do what we have to do. But the key is you walk in and you get out. You get out of there as fast as you can. That's my whole goal. I don't want to participate in it because I see what a fraud it is. And this bank in Silicon Valley tells us that, and it's showing us that, I see on the news today, we got this former advisor or whatever from the Obama administration saying, well, but they're well capitalized. Someone should come in and buy them. Maybe not well capitalized, but they're assets. They have more assets than they do liabilities, so it makes sense. But the problem is they don't have the liquidity. They don't have the cash. They don't have the funds to be able to return to people that put their money in. So you might have a bunch of assets on the books. It says, oh, I got this property, I got this, these businesses. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean anything when it starts hitting the fan, because at that point you want some form of money that works in your hand and in your possession. And that's why they had a bank run that shut them down on Friday. Some billions of dollars were just bleeding out of the bank. And they had to shut it down. Do your research on this. Silicon Valley Bank. This is happening. So I don't care what their financials say. I don't care what it says on paper. I don't care. When the system collapses, it comes down to what do you have that has value that works. That's what I preach every friggin' day when I make a video. What works? I want Litecoin in my possession. I want physical silver in my possession. I want food. I want cigars. I want whiskey. I want things that I'm going to need. Maybe not need, but need to have around. Want to have around on a daily basis. I want those things. And when it comes time to go get those things like this weekend, I'm like, okay, it's time to buy Litecoin. Time to buy Bitcoin. I don't have it in my possession. I said, boom, buy. Waiting for the bank to clear the funds. Can't take them off. Says I got it in my Coinbase account. Same with PayPal. I bought a little off PayPal, and you can transfer it out there. Same thing. I saw the money come out of my bank account. But the Litecoin's not available to be withdrawn. What gives, PayPal? You say it's there. You got the money. I see the negative red sign on my statement, when I log into my bank. Why can't I withdraw my Litecoin? All this really makes me wonder, and everybody thinks that when it happens, well, I'll know and I'm getting my stuff out, or I'm taking possession at that point. The problem is you're going to get locked out and not able to do it at that point. It's too late. All the insiders have taken it out, just like the executives at this bank sold a bunch of shares, millions of dollars of shares, within 2 weeks leading up to it, maybe even days, I don't know. But it could have been an automatic sale so that, but they got out a little bit. Got some millions out of it before this whole thing locked up, as usual. So, this is it. Pay attention. This is what I've been talking about. Everybody in the crypto space has been talking about, at least the ones that actually care about you and care about sound money and not some pump and dump BS, which I don't talk about. And there's a reason I don't talk about it. So I talk about Litecoin. And I talk about Bitcoin too. I just look at Litecoin as way undervalued. And you got people, it's a piece of crap. I don't do this. Okay. You're about to see how well Litecoin works. You're about to see its use case. So, and that's why I talk about DigiByte. I could talk about Dogecoin too, but when I talk about Litecoin, it's basically implied Dogecoin because they're on the same network. And I mean, they use the same mining equipment. They're merge mined. So Dogecoin too. Okay. Now is the time. This is a wake-up call. If this doesn't spread into a contagion right now, maybe later, and you've got a little bit of a reprieve, don't go back to sleep. If you've been thinking that you need to do something to protect your assets and get assets into your possession, you should probably do it. You should probably do it yesterday. You should probably, as Papa Joe said, yesterday was the best time to do this. Well, here we are. Don't dwell in the past. Realize what you can do right now, and right now you still have an opportunity to do something. If you want to get coins in your possession right now, and you don't have confidence in the exchanges, and this is what happened in 2008, banks lost confidence. They didn't want to loan money or transfer money. Like right now, I don't have confidence I'm going to get my Litecoin from Coinbase or PayPal, even though I've paid for it. And it says I have it. Until I can withdraw it, and I'll let you know how long it takes in a video coming up. But right now, I don't really feel confident. So if I'm buying any more Litecoin or any more crypto, I'm going to an ATM. And I'm going to a CoinFlip ATM because that's where I'm very comfortable doing that. I've done it many times. You can go and put cash in, scans your QR code, and boom, you walk away with your freaking Litecoin. I want to take possession of it. See, when things go haywire, trust is lost. It's lost. So there's massive risk in the system. When you can't trust your banks, when you can't trust the system to validate the transactions and do what it needs to do and send the money, you got a problem. When you can't trust the bank to give you your money, which they usually can't, if ever they can't. Anyway, fundamentally, since it's fractional reserve banking, they can't, because the money that you put in, it's not there. If 10 people, want to come get their money, only one's going to get it out. And that's fractional reserve banking. It's not there. So if you need cash, and if they'll say, well, we've got, IOUs, we'll be fine. We'll give you 50% now and we'll pay you later. And that's what's going to happen. Don't be in that position. Don't trust these banks. When you go seeking out yield, you're just gambling in the casino. And that's why it's so important that we usher in a system of sound money. That's why I put my energy in Litecoin. That's why I put my energy in silver. I'm going to put my energy into those things that are sound money when the banks crash, when the governments crash. You need things that are going to survive these moments. And right now, you're about to find out what's going to survive. So you better trust yourself if you've got an inkling to do something. If you think you need to do something, go do it. Don't wait on the sidelines. And don't live with regret. I could sleep this weekend. I didn't have a problem with it, other than the fact I'm like, why did that check come in on Saturday? So I really want to get that cash out of the bank and spend it, on bills and get it out of there as fast as I can. And that's what I've been doing. It's not like it's a lot of money. It's a paycheck, but the thing is, I got bills and I'm just like, all right, pay that bill faster than I would have normally way before the due date. But I'm like, get it done. Get the ATM, go to the ATM, get out what I can. I don't want them holding anything. I don't care how safe the bank seems. I don't care if it's a credit union. You're trusting someone to hold your money. Take possession of it. Trust yourselves on this, and we'll watch this, and let's pay attention to what's happening here with this bank. Probably going to be an announcement later today. Pay attention to what's happening, and then hopefully, like I have, you get to a point you're like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this. They're a bunch of liars. They're just manipulating the system. They're picking winners and losers. And you say, you know what, I'm done. I'm exiting the vampire casino, getting out of it. And then you find ways to do that. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Trust yourselves.